Hi, I'm Winter-Paez, the team leader of the JWP group at RE/MAX, and today we have the pleasure of sitting with Cindy Schickert on my team. She is our team stager. She works with our sellers to help them, especially when we have time, get their home sort of set up, prepared, and staged to sell. In Cindy's previous life, before moving to the Northwoods, she had experience doing this, and we were super excited to have her on the team because of that one little piece alone can net a lot of dollars in my sellers' pockets. So Cindy, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, tell them a little bit about yourself and how you ended up here, and then we can talk a little bit about staging.
Okay, hi, I'm Cindy, and I'm the listing coordinator and stager for Julie and for the team, and moved up here from the Milwaukee area about 4 years ago, almost 4 years now.
I know,
Wow.
crazy.
And prior to coming up here, I did work with a realtor down there and staged all of his listings before they went on the market, and
Awesome.
they typically sold pretty quickly. So I learned a lot of the tricks and did some decorating and things, tips, etc. So when I came here, I told Julie I would love to do it. It's been sort of a crazy market, so like she said, we haven't even really had time sometimes to do the staging, but when we do have time, we like to do it.
Do whatever we can. It does. And I don't know if statistically, I think what I said before was that the average seller nets between 1% and 5% more on the value of their home when it's staged. I know there's a lot of realtors who will say, let's just get it on the market.
Right.
You know, I'll take my pictures with my cell phone and we'll put it out there and somebody will buy it. That's very true. But if as a seller, your main goal is to net the most money in your pocket, anything will sell, but it will not sell for highest value to you as a seller unless you take the steps that we generally recommend you do to get your home prepped and staged to sell. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. I think another great stat that I was reading this morning as I was preparing to talk to Cindy a little bit was that 82% of buyers' agents said staging a home made it easier for the buyer to visualize the property when they own it. And we were talking a little bit, and this is one of Cindy's philosophies, which I think gets me really excited. And when you explain it to a seller like this, it makes sense. But why don't you tell them your thoughts on exactly what staging is?
Sure. My theory and the approach I've always taken is telling a seller, you've made this house your home. You've put pictures on the wall. You've put little things on countertops or tables that mean something to you, and you've made it your home. What we want to do right now is turn it back into a house, so that the person walking through the door doesn't feel as though they're intruding on someone's home. They can walk in and see it and visualize it, and somewhere subconsciously they can start to make it their home. If they feel as though they're trespassing on somebody else's home, there's going to be a
little barrier between them.
And it's subconscious.
Yep.
This is not a lot of this is not conscious.
Right.
It might be of someone's house if they had really a hoarding type of situation.
Yeah.
But just if you have a lot of things in their personal, people feel like they're intruding, and there's going to be a little wall built. So we want to take that wall down and let them really look around and imagine their pictures and their things on the walls and counters, and then they get excited.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I'm always a big believer in as well is even it's the stuff. You know, when I am never opposed to having a few pictures here and there. I think that sets the stage for the home. But when you have photo montages on an entire wall and it's so over personalized with your stuff, the buyers wander through the home thinking, who owns this house? Do I know anybody in the pictures? Well, this is interesting piece of artwork, or that's an interesting deer head, or something along those lines. And they try to figure out who the homeowner is versus seeing themselves there.
Right.
Or if it's, especially depending on the type of home, if they have so much stuff inside of it, the buyer often thinks, well, they're moving because they're being pushed out of the home.
There's not enough space here.
And that's not the first impression that we want buyers to have when they're going through a home. And especially, I think, in this market. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the things that are simple and pimple easy to do when you're getting your house prepared that you usually go through with our sellers, especially when we have time to say, okay, let's do these 5 or 6 couple of things that we can do right out of the gate that will help it get prepared to be staged for pictures and for sale.
Okay. Big thing is clean countertops, and especially if you're selling a smaller home and you don't have a lot of kitchen countertops, you want to clear those off. Now, that doesn't mean that your knife caddy has to get put away. If you make coffee every day, you don't have to put that coffee pot away and take it in and out. You are still living in the home, and I would always explain that to people too. You're living here. But are there things that are out that you maybe could put away? What can we take off? If you use a canister of flour on a regular basis, don't take that off, but if you maybe don't use it that often, could it be boxed up for a while?
Yep.
So clean countertops. A big thing is in your bathrooms, clean new towels. And I'm talking go and buy inexpensive fluffy white towels, or if there's a color that looks fantastic. And when you have a showing, just hang a brand new fluffy towel on the towel bar instead of the oldest, rattiest one that you have that you keep there because your dog comes in and you need to wipe off the dog. So it's just things like that they're not huge and they're not really expensive, but they do make a difference when somebody's walking in.
Yep.
If your bathroom is a beautiful blue and you have this weird green spotted towel hanging there, it stands out. I know that sounds crazy, but it actually does. Someone's eye goes to that.
One of the great things as a team that we get to offer all of our sellers is, especially depending on the house, Cindy can always be present when the photographer is there shooting the pictures, because her eye can help remember, we're going to do this, we're going to fluff these towels, we're going to fluff this bedspread, we're going to make this room look a little bit more attractive for the photos, because let's be honest, those first showings actually happen online, and that's what gets them excited to drive in their car to come up here to look at the house. So one of the key assets on my team is that you have Cindy to kind of sit there and go through the house with a photographer and make
And I love to do it.
And she exactly,
It's
that's
my
the best
happy
part.
place.
It's her happy place, and you know, my sellers know that that's her happy place when they meet her. Even clearing off the refrigerator. Aren't you a big believer in taking all the magnets, the family pictures down so that you can recognize that it's a refrigerator?
Right. It's not taking. It doesn't have to take down every bit of personalization, but it, like you said, a whole family wall montage, and here's our family. You don't want somebody, if they go to see 4 or 5 houses, well, what did you think of that house? Well, which one was that? Oh, that's the one with all the pictures and the artwork. Oh, you know, I didn't even really look at it.
Yeah, because that's what they remember about the house, and that's not what you want them to remember about your house. Here's another interesting stat for sellers, especially if you are looking to be economical. The average cost to stage a home nationally is about $1,500. When the realtor does it themselves, it's about $300. So you save about $1,200 when you have the realtor, or you have somebody like Cindy helping you, saying, okay, buy these towels, do this, do that. We can give you a checklist and a sort of homework to-do list to get the house prepared for that photographer. So again, it does have a huge, and that 1% on a $300,000 home doubles the value, triples the value of the cost for the small amount of staging we often recommend. Any other tips and tricks? What about even the exterior of the home staging?
Exterior of the home, and again, depending on the time of year. Right now we're kind of buried in snow, so it's going to be different. But exterior, let's say if it was summer, if you have a porch, a nice, beautiful porch entryway, do you have cobwebs all over up in there? So, you know, vacuuming, getting cobwebs, things like that down. And I even recommend that even for basements. If it looks like you haven't been down there in a lot of years, and this isn't something that needs to be done weekly, but one time before you get going, you know, wiping down mechanicals, we've talked about that. So even though you're not working on them all the time, you don't want it to look like they haven't been touched or
ever serviced in 20 years.
So outside, if it's summer and nice, pot of flowers. Again, it doesn't have to be a whole new garden, but washing the windows, wiping down some of the windowsills, things like that, power washing, things like that. If you can do that and have the time, that's all fantastic, and it makes a difference.
It really does.
Huge.
It does. It makes it's that curb appeal, that warm up right when they pull up to the house. It's welcoming, it's open, it says, please come into our house and take a look around. Just the only other thing that comes into my mind, which I think is from a lot of my conversation with sellers, they feel it's overwhelming. Like I have this house, I have 27 rooms in this house. Where do I start? Where do we statistically find we get the biggest bang for our buck from staging? I know my opinion, but I'm curious to know what yours is.
Well, and for me, and maybe it's because of personally how I would go through a house and look, for me it would be kitchen.
Okay.
Would be number one. Living room, master bedroom and bathroom. But then I start to, like, again, going into a bathroom and do the colors match. Is the rug really old? Can the rug be rolled up? Are the towels? I'm a person who sees all that. So I know other people do, and again, it might be subconscious. But to me, those would be the heavy hitters, would be the living room, kitchen, maybe master and master bathroom.
And statistically, those are the 3 biggest bangs for your buck for staging. And for me, it's also because those are the first pictures that buyers look at.
Right.
They want to see the kitchen. Women want to see the kitchen. They want to see that living space where the family, the heart of the home is going to gather. And then if there's a master bedroom and bath, those are huge, huge points of difference in homes up here in the Northwoods where you get the biggest bang for your buck. And again, I think if you start thinking of those 3 spaces to begin
Right.
with, it makes the whole thing a little less overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, anything else you want to share with anybody that you think is super important?
I just go back to remember we want them. This is not a personal attack. I've had people say to me when I say, can we take that down? Oh, so you don't like that. It's not about what I like or what I don't like. It has nothing to do with that. It's getting you the biggest bang for your buck, and it's getting people to come in and not see all of your stuff, even if it's fabulous. There can still be a little too much fabulous stuff. We want them to see your house. So that's the biggest point, is not, if you do work with a stager, if you work with me, it's none of this is personal. In fact, it's all just to get you the biggest bang. And it is funny because I've moved furniture around and have people say, I have lived here for 15 years and never would have put my furniture that way.
But so boy, do I like it.
But I like it, yes. And can you be open? I would say be open to some changes and seeing things a little bit differently, but it's never personal. It's always meant to help you get the quickest and the highest
for your home. And the reason why we wanted to do this video early in the year, and it's February now, I can't hardly believe it's Valentine's Day. But when we have time is when our life is easiest, because if you know you want to list in March or April and you want to get the house ready to go, the sooner you call us and make that first point of contact, the more time we have to kind of help you kind of go through the home, give you the hit list, and then Cindy has time to also help you if you need her help. It's when we get the come list me calls and they're like, it's Wednesday, we want to be on the market by Friday, that sometimes it's hard to get the house exactly the way we want it to be the best benefit for our sellers. So if you're on the fence, give us a call. We'd love to come over and talk to you, meet with you.
I'll help you fold fitted sheets. Do you know how many people I've taught how to fold a fitted sheet?
I haven't taught me yet. Yeah. That's something that I need to learn. Yep. Yeah, we even have some before and after small samples of things we're doing, and there will be more. So give us a call. We'd love to work with you and help you get your home staged and ready to sell.
Yes.
Have a great day.